Ready?
Ready whenever you are.
Good morning, everybody. Man, today is gonna feel like a summer day. We're anticipated to break 3 record weather temperatures this week alone. Yeah, during the summers. So Palm Springs, 110 a day, what they're projected.
No.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, Palm Springs is that's their projected, which will break their record if they actually get there. We're only scheduled for 91 here in Nevada. So that's cool. Like March. So yeah. So happy St. Patrick's Day. Who's wearing green? Raise your hands. Who completely forgot?
I did, but
Is this supposed to read to you?
It's blue.
Okay, see, I see green, my wife said the same thing, so I think I'm gonna get finished.
Well, everybody, if you don't mind, please stand for flags and salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so here's what we got. I see people around my age mountain climbing. I feel good getting my leg through my underwear one without losing my balance. Anybody else feel that way in the mornings?
Amen.
So I'm just like, where's my equilibrium? I feel like it's off. So I was hoping I wasn't the only.
So we should roll under the thing.
Yes. Yeah, how am I doing? I lose my balance. Took one day off and have 1,000 messages. Any fun? That'll just be. I have to check my phone, my emails to my phone constantly because over a weekend I'll have 250 of my list to get back on Monday and have them ready to go through things. And out of those, I got to respond to like 30. But that's the way it goes. So, all right. We're on that. There you are. Come on up.
Thank you.
All right, everybody.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lorenzo Gonzalez with Core Home Loans. Pleasure to meet everyone. Yet, it's good to see everyone. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I did think I was wearing green, but it's bluish green. So
Yeah.
I think I got
It's a green sweater. Your sweater identifies as green.
Yeah, I'll say thank you very much. Well, since the last time I've been here, rates we're trickling down, but they have trickled up since the end of January because of conflict. However, they've been staying pretty steady. So right now we're sitting at a 6.3 for average standard conventional rate right now, okay, and about 5.8 for VA and FHA. So at this time last year, 6.8 was the average. So we're about 0.5% better than we were a year ago. So still good. So anyways, I can tell everyone, get your clients pre-approved so they're ready to go when we do see these dips. I do anticipate rates to continue to drop. How low will they go? Well, right before the conflict, we were sitting at about a 5.9 average on the conventional. So I do feel things will trickle back down to that, okay? But however, there's a lot of volatility, a lot of things going on. We'll just have to wait and see. However, get them pre-approved so we can be ready to strike an iron top, okay?
Nice.
Also too, we are for lender San Joaquin Valley homes. I just want to share, we do have 2 promotions on their high density homes. We have Tulare on the corner of Cartmill and Mooney, okay? We're offering on select lots 4.5% fixed FHA rate and builder place for closing costs, or 6%, up to 6% seller credit and paid solar. Okay, so there's 2 flavors there. That also goes for, I believe it's Blossom Hill and Sanger. There are 2 high density, so 3,500 square foot lots, the higher home, 2 stories, HOA, all that stuff. However, we do have some forward commitments going on there. So if you have any questions, please ask me or any one of our loan officers. We'd be happy to help you. Okay. Now with the 6% though, before I move on, if it's cash, that's the issue with the client. Okay, then that's a hurdle. We can use that 6% if they have a 640 credit score for a California DPA. The 6% will cover the cost of the transaction. They'll get down to 5.2. It's the lowest I can go on that. However, they're going to get paid solar on that too. So it's a lot of benefits. I would say it's about roughly average $24,000 in just closing cost incentive plus $60,000 for solar. Talking about 40 grand worth of incentives to the buyer. So some good deals. I do have buyers I have 3 buyers out there in Tulare right now that chose to go that route just for the paid solar instead of the 4.5 commitment. Okay, and play the market a little bit, all right? And I'm still floating around 5%. So still a decent rate, maybe $100 difference to the 4.5, but they're getting paid solar. So as you know, that increases the value of that property when it's owned, okay? And they like that. So let me know if you have any questions about that. That's San Joaquin, that's Sorrento and Blossom Hill and Sanger. Okay, good neighborhoods. We did get a new program coming across our desk. We just had a meeting with the county executive. We do these new recreation land 20+ acre loans. Okay, they don't have to have a fixed property on there. They can have just a cabin, maybe a single wide. But it's for 20+ acres, 25% down. It's for recreational use. So if you're gonna use it for hunting, fishing, any type of recreation, we have a program for that. It just came across, so it's still fairly new. But there's some good deals out. It's a good thing, you know, I mean, especially in this area where they got a lot of land. Okay, so 20+ acres. They do offer for 10+ acres, but it's on an exception basis. So of course we just have to run it by. Okay, that's through a lender called Compeer. Sorry, I don't have the actual name. Excuse me. Rural Living Products by Compeer. 25% down. Rate's going to be high 7s, 8s. That's what they said. But if you do have a buyer that's looking to buy a huge amount of property and only has like a small cabin and there's not an established property, it can still work. So please come talk to us. Other than that, I do want to mention also, they also offer hobby farms. Now that is for, it has to produce at least $500 in agricultural income a year annually. Okay, so it's small, but it's going to be in a hobby farm. So if you know someone that wants to buy a small plot of land and is looking to, I don't know, I forget what the amount of cattle they can have. They can have an X amount of cattle. Otherwise, seems commercial. But say they want to grow some grapes, maybe some, I don't know, some type of produce. We do have hobby farms. Loans through this investor as well. Okay. Any questions regarding those? No. They also offer barndominiums too on select property. Property. So if you had known anybody, I don't know how popular barndominiums are around here. He was talking more about like the Idaho area, Colorado. He mentioned other states. I'm not too sure how popular barndominiums are. How many clients you guys have that are actual barndominiums, but we do have programs for that. Other than that, I just want to let you know, bowling is this Thursday, and they're still accepting teams. Okay, so if you have anybody, or if you want to create a team, please reach out to me. I'm part of the committee, or Nancy Castillo, or anyone on the committee. Actually, we can get you guys set up. So if you need still teams, you can reach out to Wendy. They have teams available, and it's this Thursday. It's supporting Teresa Miles, and of course, the tragic, death of her daughter recently to cancer. So all those proceeds are going to her. So if you don't have a team and you'd like to get a team together, there's still time. Okay.
I think we have 3 teams. One out of Porterville, 2 out of Visalia.
Oh, excellent. Wonderful. I'll be on Thursday.
1 and 1. So 2, we have 2 teams.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So if there's anyone else, let me know. Okay. Happy to help. Or you could reach out to Wendy at Tulare County. That's what she can realtors, and she'll be able to get you signed up. Other than that, I think it's a great time. I've been busy as heck lately. So there's people out there still buying. A lot of people are getting pre-approved. I've been talking to a lot of people, and really the major issue right now has been just cash and close. It's really been the major issue. I have a lot of buyers who are really young that want to get in the market. So I think the sentiment is they want to get in. I think people are just trying to get in before sale prices go up. And that's kind of what people are kind of leaning towards. They know sale prices are going up. And that's the conversation I've been having with a lot of buyers, is they're trying to get in because they anticipate sale prices going up. And they see things have been kind of flat lately. Okay. So I just kind of, work with them, trying to get them ready before it hits that next leg up. Okay. Other than that, does anyone have any questions?
What's the loan to value on the hobby farm?
On the hobby farm, you're gonna 75% LTV. Anybody else?
Very good. I know you also work, you used to work the Porterville neighborhood for San Joaquin Valley.
I still do, yeah.
What are some of the incentives they have going there?
So Laura Wood is her, I would say it's not their entry level home type, but it's the bigger scale. I think she has 3 properties right now with 6%. That's 6% closing costs.
Wow.
Yeah. So there are some good incentives. I think one of them properties she has one that's I've never seen on a wiper because I was just there, up to 30 grand they're giving towards closing costs. So with the builder, we're right around $10,000-$11,000 average on closing costs, prepaids included. So you're talking like 20,000 to push towards rate. Now with the 6%, you got to do 10% at least minimum on a conventional to qualify for that 6% FHA minimum. That's within the loan now. You qualify for 6%. Okay.
So some
if you have VA allows a max up to 4% on the seller concessions, all right, incentives. However, it doesn't count towards the buy down. So we can break it off and utilize a full 6%. Okay, we have underwriters that allow that. Just FYI. I know some underwriters limit the 4%. That's it, max including buy down. Our underwriters go 4%, but they don't include that with the buy down. So it kind of allows us to use a full 6% to it VA's potential.
Very good.
Yeah, that's very good. So yeah, Laura Wood does have incentives. I know Chelsea at Brookside, the neighborhood next to her, is more entry level. She does have a few 6%. I don't know the amount, but I know she does have a few homes that are 6% also. Okay, she's more in like the high 3s, low 4s sales range. we're lower, it's sneaking around $500,000, okay? Still within, some of those homes are still within FHA. Guidance, yeah.
Very
So
good.
some good stuff out there. So I know new homes are pretty hot. It's kind of where I've been really busy. There's cash on the table. I think that's what I tell people all the time. Incentive equals cash. So buyers like it going in that there's some money on the table from this stuff saying, hey, we're gonna help you get in. And people love that. And get rates in the low fives is even for conventional, second time buyers are still getting 5.5% on conventionals with 20% down. So it's not bad. It's pretty good. Yeah.
Very good.
Is there nobody has any questions? Well,
Anybody still waking
I'll
up?
see you. Well, if you're bowling, I'll see you on Thursday out there. So try not to leave my spelling bowl like 120 stuff.
That's good. I hate mostly gutter balls. Vern's with that. I can usually do okay at rolling, you usually get down the middle.
That's my strategy. Just get down the middle.
I like when the bumpers are up. All right, so we have a special guest. So this is Tracy Roberts' job with the city, but you actually have a very unique job. And it's a job that some people like, some people don't like, but it's a job that we all need to know a little bit more about. So let's go on in here. You have a presentation ready? The floor is yours.
Yeah.
So let's go. Tell us, educate us a little bit.
Yeah. Raise your hand if you have any feelings of code enforcement.
Yeah, a few.
Okay. So, as I talk, I want you to keep this in mind. You have a community, people have standards here, and people have standards here. Code enforcement's job is to do this. We have to find that middle ground to make everybody happy, and that's hard. Somebody's not going to be happy.
Yeah.
Okay, so keep that in mind as I go through this presentation. So neighborhood preservation is what the division is called. It's the friendlier term for code enforcement.
It does sound nicer.
It does. That's what we do. We were established in 2006, which is when I started with the city, and we were part of Housing and Economic Development Department. And when things took a turn, the economy went upside down, they moved us to community development. So, and that's what we've been since then. We are made up of a manager, that's myself. I have one support staff. We have 7 code enforcement officers, 1 code enforcement technician, and he deals mostly with abandoned wrecked cars on property. I have 2 part-time code technicians. They've been quite the social media darlings this last week as they're doing items that are stored out in the street, which most of the time is basketball. So you've probably seen all that hoopla online. And we have a team called SLEEP, which is Solid Waste Elimination and Enforcement Program. They are responsible for going out. They start 6 o'clock every morning and drive the city and pick up every piece of trash they can get there. So that's a new program. It's been about 1.5 years. It's been in operation. You've probably seen the big trucks and trailers that say SLEEP on them. That's what they're doing. They wake up the homeless people that are sleeping on the sidewalk, get up, clean them up, send them on their way. So they got a big job to do, and they're kind of the unsung heroes. People don't really see them or have any dealings with them, but they're out there doing great things in horrible conditions, I can tell you that. And I have 5 part-time graffiti people. I have 3 vacancies right now. Fully staffed, we have 5. Very little graffiti in the city. Does anybody feel different about that? I think the same thing. They start in the morning, they drive the city and just paint it. Yeah. Our job, our goal is to fix problems before you get up and about and have your cup of coffee and see it. That's what we try to do. We deal with building code and substandard building violations. My guess would be most of you in your role, in your employment, that will be when you have dealings with us. Usually when we're dealing with real estate agents, it's because you are trying to sell or buy a piece of property that has a title off. It's usually what our dealings with. So these are some examples of properties that we've dealt with. Code enforcement is just much better with pictures.
What is on the bottom left? That looks great.
Yeah, let's say that does not look like.
That's I'm warped because I've been doing this for decades. That's my favorite picture ever. That, and this is in that newer subdivision. 2018, it was pretty new. The Woodside homes in the corner of Demery and Houston. And this, my friends, is a bathtub full of cat pieces.
Wow.
And it's
That is terrible.
A lot.
yes.
What the heck?
Was that tenant occupied or owner?
It was owner occupied.
Oh,
And I'll just tell the story because it's pretty good. So. Yeah, it's the whole
Yeah, it's there.
shock. I am very hard, it's, if you shock me, you've really done something. That was shocking. For one, the woman lived there. And that's just what the bathtub looked like, so you can imagine what the rest of the house looked like. But what happened in her situation was, the neighbor's house caught on fire. And the heat from that fire was so intense, it broke the windows out of that house. And so the fire, nobody was home. Well, the fire department can't just walk away and go, well, it's terrible to be you. They have to go in. And they walked in to make sure that her house wasn't on fire. And they were like, holy smokes.
Yeah.
We had to condemn it for health and safety reasons. Her dad actually cussed me out, which made I said, well, we should take a look at your house because it's talking, I'm like, oh, where do you live? Because he said there's nothing wrong with her house. Bathtub like crazy. Anyway, so this is actually a rental property. For those of you that have rentals, yes, shame on this person, honestly, because we actually had to tear it. Shame on that person.
The middle one. Is
The
that
middle one's a rental property? Wow.
This one,
Yeah.
yes.
Wow.
It's really torn up.
We laughed about headline would say that. It didn't look like that when I moved in. He sure did. Occupied all of these except this one. Oh, and this one. This was a foreclosed house back in the day.
It's just the side of the garage.
So fun fact, because code enforcement is fun. Was a foreclosed house that squatters had got in and they had unscrewed the peephole from the door. And while we were knocking on it, cockroaches were jumping.
Oh.
I told the code officer with me, I said, I don't know what's in there, but it's so bad the cockroaches are killing themselves. They were jumping.
You got a sense of humor.
Anyway, those are just examples of substandard housing here in Visalia. And I would dare say, you've seen anything like that?
Sure. Yeah. Good.
You're lucky I can't get like scratch and sniff on these pictures.
Oh, no.
So other fun things we do, we deal with home-based businesses,
That's been going on.
vendor enforcement. You still can't get this board out of the shower.
I know where that is.
Thousands of dollars in fines and he just doesn't. Yeah.
The heck?
That's what the heck?
Probably cheaper than storage. I find it cheaper than storage.
I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. I really don't. And our division also is responsible for storage of found property. And to be honest with you, most of the time that's homeless belongings. And we take very good care of the belongings. We have worked very hard to have a good reputation with the homeless community. It makes our life easier. It makes your life better. It just really does. But we store it for 90 days. And if they don't come pick it up, so that falls on our division too. We deal with unmaintained swimming pools.
Wow.
This is my favorite basketball picture. Like, I don't know why you had to cut the sidewalk out. You could have just sat on the sidewalk. I don't know. There's that. I don't know.
It's really like 11 feet now.
Well, I really should. So this is a swimming pool at that house that burned down in the corner of Santa Fe and Tulare.
Yeah.
That was that pool. We had to drain that pool. It was, yeah, okay.
Oh, sad.
Marijuana grows, we do all the marijuana inspections. This actually is not that big of an issue as it was 10 years ago. Marijuana is legal. We can grow 6 plants. It needs to be inside. You can't turn it into a Christmas tree lot in your backyard.
Do you do that kind of recreation one?
Anyway, and every once in a while we get a call or somebody jumped the fence and stole it. I also don't understand. You can just grow your own now. You don't have to steal it anymore. You just grow it. Yeah, so there's that. And we pick up all the shopping carts that are littered throughout the street. We deal with the stores because the stores need to do their part to keep those picked up. Any questions on any of those things? We deal with abandoned vehicles on private property, because on the street is the police department. Unless it looks like that, we would just go ahead and haul that.
What if it's in a shopping center? Cause I just noticed a car when I was walking that's been there for 2 months.
So-
Between here and the closed up Big Lots. Silver SUV. I meant to call yesterday on my walk, but it was hot. I didn't want to hold my phone in my ear.
And I have one of my inspectors, she is responsible for inspecting all of the solid foods. Spoiler alert, there's a flashing neon open sign in the window. Those might be the ones you don't want to put. Just saying. So that's kind of a tell. This is just an example of the receipts that we give when we store property. Sorry, that's a duplicate slide. Okay, if you want to report a violation, you can use our complaint line, you can report it online, or you can directly call staff. And I brought cards with that information. So when we find and we've taken action on a piece of property, we have different things that we can do. Most of the time, I would say 80% of what we do is a courtesy notice. Would you mind? Please do this, because most people don't know. If it's sewage running from your front yard, you're not getting a courtesy notice for that. I don't care where you live in the world, you know that's not. But if it's something like too many yard sales, most people don't know you can only have 2.
For a year?
2 for the year, yes. Yeah, see, most people don't know.
I got neighbors.
Because if we don't put a limit on it, your neighbor will set up shop and have a yard sale in her front yard every single day, like the swap. Yes. And I know you see them around town. So we can do a summary abatement. That means it is so bad that I don't even have time to track down who owns it. We're just fixing this right now. An example of that is a foreclosed house that transients will stay out of, and the property owner lives in Florida. We're just going to go ahead and board the doors and the windows to protect the asset until we can sort it out. If it's a local owner, we're going to try and find that person and let them know, hey, here's the security. So people living in it should be.
Now, when you board the windows and stuff, do you charge the owner for that, or you're just?
We just do a cost recovery. So whatever it costs us is what we charge the owner. City's not making money, and we go out to bid and we use the low bid contractor. There's no money in it for us, other than we're trying to preserve the community. You can get a notice and order, and they range from 24 hours to 30 days, depending on what it is. That means you get a letter that says, hey, you got to fix this by this date. Administrative enforcement orders, those are the fines that come out. Declaration of substandard housing, a title cloud. That's probably where any of you that have dealt with my office have dealt with it. When you have a piece of property that I've been around for a minute, like I know you're trying to pull a fast one, we're going to hold that title. And the best example I can give you is somebody whose septic system had failed. The tenant called, there's sewage everywhere. That owner put a Band-Aid on it and then put it up in the market. Okay. Yeah, because he was close enough to, you can't just fix a septic tank if there's city sewer in the street. You got to connect to city sewer. Once it fails, you're done. So we put a hole in that title. It's not a lien. We always get that when there's a lien. It's not only, he didn't know me at dime, but I know you're trying to pull a fast one. And sure enough, about 3 months later, somebody was trying to buy that property. Well, it doesn't have a working sewer system. Somebody got a deal on the house. I'll tell you that. Now they got to lower it because they got to hook to city sewer. That's the purpose of that title cloud. It's a buyer beware. And if you owe us money, you got to pay the money. It's really a buyer beware because we're trying to prevent people from, property owners from making their problem somebody else's problem. We had a pool house too that was uncommitted. Beautiful pool house that could not even be there. It was up against the fence. Yeah. Fines, we can fine you, which is very rare. You have really done something if you are fined by our office. And you'll hear people say, well, they fined me. We did all these other things before we got those fines. We never started fines ever. ever does our city start fines. Administrative citations, it's like a ticket, like a parking ticket. Warrants, we do warrants. If we need to get in your backyard and drain your pool, you won't let us back there, we can get a warrant. Yes, sir.
If we sell a house and the sellers leave cars on the property, do we call you?
We can do that for you. Depends on the condition of the car and there's a little bit of likelihood it has to go on, but yes, we can do that.
Where do you take them to?
They have to be, we can only take the ones that we can junk. So when you pay your car tags, and next time you pay car tags, look at the breakdown on there, there's a $1 charge, you may ever noticed it. That $1 is, it goes out to local agencies like mine. And that pays for those towing those vehicles, but they have to meet the junk qualifications, the junk slip. And we destroy them. But that $1 is what that money goes for. Stipulated agreements. If you have something, and you'll see this a lot. Anybody dealt with us on a stipulated agreement? I'll use the septic system as an example. The buyer of that property, he still wanted the house, and he said, I'm going to buy it. They lowered the cost to cover the connection to city sewer. So if they signed a stipulated agreement that says, I'm buying the house as is, and I'll fix that problem. And we remove that title cloud and let the sale go through. So if you haven't dealt with us for that, then you, at some point in your careers doing real estate, you might run into that. But we're just saying, hey, sign this, and we're telling you this is what's going on with the property, and you have to agree to fix it. Or not, or sometimes they just walk, sometimes it's more money than what they want to do. Any questions on any of those? Yes, sir.
So in Tulare, I understand that you have to hook up to the city sewer if you have a septic and the house is being sold. That's not the case with Visalia though, is that correct? As long as the septic is in good working order, you don't have to hook up to the city, is that still correct?
Yes. And that sewer main has to be within 100 feet of the property. If the nearest sewer main's a mile down the road, we're not going to make you put, because I don't know if you've put a sewer main in, but it's.
What about wells on houses in the city limits?
The same thing.
Okay,
It's the same thing.
but it's not mandatory that you hook up to the city.
As long as everything's in working condition.
Okay.
We work off of the cost recovery efforts. If I have to tell you, you can't have a bathtub full of cat crap. You have to pay the inspector's time to, because I shouldn't have to tell you that. You should just know. There's not any bubble bath in the world that is going to fix that for you. You do have to pay for the inspector's time. The fines, and this is from this California Civil Code, it's not even the city has established. It's $100 for the first day, $200 for the second, $500 every time. Those are the fines they add up. And then the property owner is responsible for summary abatements, which is the board cost we just talked about, or draining a swimming pool, but it's usually one of those two things: boarding costs and draining a green pool. Any questions on that? So when you run afoul of us, you can, and you owe money, you can pay the full amount. You can make payment arrangements. And we let you set up the payment arrangements. If you say, Tracy, I can only afford $20 a month, that's what your arrangement is, $20. There's no interest, there's no anything, as long as you don't miss any payments. If you start to miss payments, we tax in the property. We have nothing to lose by allowing people to pay the money back in a way that they can afford to. The things the general public does not see in the city is. That was that liquor store that was on K and Santa Fe.
Yeah, so funny.
What's a Larry said?
Just the extra letter in there, the G word.
Yeah. Budget from the legislative Larry's.
Have your staff make it know.
I did a yard sale too, a yard sale sign the other day, and it said yard sale, YRAK. So. Yard sale. All right, any questions? Code enforcement usually. prompts
So the
lots
only
of
question that I
questions.
had was going back to that big boat. Does he have a $500 per day fee still adding?
That's the guy hitting.
At what point does it stop? Cause that seems like an exorbitant amount.
Yes, so he's at about 10 grand right now. So we had to take a step back. Okay, so now I'm looking at what's the real issue. There
Yeah.
has to be something else going on. And so, and that's an open active situations going on right now. So the code officer that has the case, he's doing some research, because now you gotta look. Most of the time, $100 ticket fixes it.
Yeah.
Honestly, most of the time, it does. But so now we're looking at what's going on with this person in this home where they're okay, because now, now we gotta look at the human aspect of it, because there's something else going on. I mean, the boat probably isn't even worth the amount of fines that he has on it, and sometimes it's just because they don't know how to get rid of it.
Yeah.
So we know he's getting the letters, we've never had a conversation with him, so we need to figure that out, because
Yeah. He doesn't have a truck anymore. He can't move it.
something, he can't, the neighbors are losing their minds.
On
It's a big eyesore.
on pools, city of Visalia, what's the current code for safety features for that? To prevent toddlers, kids from falling in, fence being one, of course.
Yes, so, and it changes, so if you were to look at the building code from seventies, it's like this big, now it's like 6 volumes, no exaggeration. So whatever the code was when that pool was built is what we go back on.
Okay.
So if a pool was built in 1980, it has a whole different set of rules than a pool that was built today. Unless the property owner does work on the pool. If they do work on the pool, then they have to bring everything up to code, and that's the same with if they were doing electrical work and there was, substandard electrical work now, you have to notice all of it. But, you have to have the alarm systems in the pool, you have to have the barrier. It originally, you just had to have it fenced. Now there's got to be a fence, and there's got to be alarm systems on exterior doors that go into it. And then make that alarm that floats in the pool, so if water breaks, it sets off an audible alarm. Find this.
So if we're selling a house with a pool, how do we disclose to buyers what they're responsible for? If it's a 3-year-old pool and they're supposed to have a child fence on it and it doesn't have one, how are we policing that, or are you guys policing?
We're not policing. So you would have to look and see, you can go online and just look and see what the code was when the pool was constructed. That's what should still be there. Because people change, things. When I built my pool, I did, I had to have these locks on my doors when my kids, because when I took that down. When we sold our house, I put them back because they were required. And it was just like a beam of light, when you broke it, it said on the block. But your best friend is just going to be to Google it on, put in the year the pool was constructed and see what was required.
But there's no literature for us to refer them to.
Other than what's online.
Is it on the city's website, or is it just general building code?
It's the general building code. We adopt the state of California.
The state of
building code,
California.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so just look at the state of California building code.
Also, I think the answer is probably no, but do you guys do any code enforcement on non-HOA neighborhoods, CNRs? Yeah, that'd be a nightmare.
Yes, and let me tell you, because this has been an ongoing process I started. They will tell you that we do. Developers will tell you that. I've had developers, no, you guys, we will not. I don't care if there's a satellite dish on the front of their house. I don't care what color the house is. I don't care if there's a boat in the driveway. Okay, those are not things the city is worried about. The boat can't extend to the sidewalk and it can't be across your front lawn. And actually, fun fact about the giant boat, if he were to concrete his front yard, that boat could be there. The violation is it's on the grass. Not against the front yard.
Did that, he would be eating his fun.
Yes.
That's all.
So what determines what's gonna be enforced? As I kind of shared before, I had a motorhome that had some batteries pulled out of it. It was hung about 1 foot into the sidewalk on a cul-de-sac. I got a letter saying I need to move it. There's a car on County Center and Tulare Avenue. I walk by every day because it sits in the middle of the sidewalk, takes up the whole sidewalk. They did major construction on the road all around it, but it's still sitting there and never been moved. Spider webs. from the car to the ground and it hasn't moved for 2 years.
Nobody called to complain.
You got
There is somebody has to call and complain. No one complains.
up until,
There's my neighbor.
up until we started, actually in October, doing proactive enforcement on right of ways. We're complaint driven. We're not out. I always tell people, they're like, you're a jerk. No, somebody in your neighborhood's a jerk because we didn't even see it. Yeah. Somebody has to tell on you.
All right.
That's when you'll see
Well, in
it.
this case, I used to see a park, code commission, code enforcement car in my neighbor's house all the time.
Now, what we're supposed to do is they deal with your house. And then they're supposed to take a look at the blocks either way around, because now we are targeting you. You know, is this going on at the neighbor's house? We're not supposed to, you know.
Yeah, I was on a cul-de-sac and no one ever walked around the cul-de-sac. They just went straight through.
You know, just as a community member, a lot of things with neighbors can be solved if you just talk to your neighbor and if you just be a good.
Yeah, Larry, you go.
I just believe I got them.
You know, you could probably do just about what you wanted to on your property if you don't bother me. Exactly. That's the truth of the matter. That's what I have learned in decades in this field. Every once in a while, you'll get Mrs. Kravitz that's just looking over your fence because they've got nothing else to do. But that's not the norm. The norm is nobody cares what you're doing at your house until it impacts them. That's when they call us. And if you think it's going to be a volatile situation, don't talk to them, just report it. Because what happens is you talk to them, it goes south, you get a big screaming match out in the street, and then you call us. We come out, now guess what happens?
They blame us.
They know it's you, because you already have a fight with them about it. Sometimes people care, sometimes they don't care. But I've told people, don't say anything to them, because you know, they'll say, well, they threaten the neighbor. Don't say anything, just let us do that, because it creates a neighbor situation. And it's unfortunate, but a lot of times we end up being the neighbor. We do.
First of all, I've known Tracy for a long, long time, and I don't want you to think that I have all these fines and notices. But two things I want to tell the group is that when you do have a customer that gets a notice from their office, what I've found that takes care of it right away is communicate, and get it done. Because the longer it sits there, the worse it gets. It's like anything else. I've dealt with her many, many, many times. What I wanted you to talk about real quick, Tracy, is delinquent sewer bills and what the enforcement.
That to me.
I do that all the time. I have this happen with rentals, where your tenant doesn't pay the sewer bill, guess what happens? You get notified and you have a fine that you're gonna be faced as much as $500 a day.
It is.
And so Tracy will tell you.
So, and it's kind of an odd concept until I explain it, and then every once in a while somebody still thinks it's odd. You don't pay your electric bill, Edison just cuts off your power. When you don't pay your sewer bill, we're going to cap off your sewer. In order to do that, we have to dig a hole in the street, because we got to do it on our property. Cap it. Repair the street. That cost goes on to. Then when you want to back up, we got to dig it up, uncap it, put it back. That also falls on. It's about $10,000 to the process. But it is, everybody like loses their mind. It's no different than Edison cutting off your power. It's the same concept as the gas company taking your meter, as the water company putting on the lock. It's the same concept. It just is a bigger deal to turn off somebody's sewer. So we go through a process where we post the house with the notice to vacate, because now we got prepared to cap this sewer. So we let the tenants know, you gotta go. If your toilets don't flush, you can't live there, you can end up with the cat in the bathtub, right? So I would say 99% of the time, I won't say 100, because we still have a few people out there that can't get in line, but I would say 99% of the time, that's all it takes for the property owner to be like, holy smokes, my tenant needs to take care of this bill, which is what Sam was talking about. And they make the tenant take care of it, they evict them, or they put the account in their name and it's all good. Because we're really trying very hard not to dig a hole in our street at your expense.
Well, the trash is piling too, because it's on the same bill.
Yes.
Hmm.
So everybody loses their mind about that, you know, how dare you, but it's the same thing as Edison. It just is it's harder for us to do it. Edison just flips the switch. Then if you tamper with it, they'll just come take the whole meter. And I've actually had them cut the drop line from the pole to the house. People do scary stuff with electricity. If they only knew how dangerous it was, they would not do that, but you know. But it has a different look when it's the sewer. It is a big deal to cap somebody's sewer. But rarely does it ever have to come to that, because most of the time, that's all it takes. The easiest thing for you to do, how many of you have rental properties? The easiest thing for you to do is to raise your rent and put that bill in your name. Because it's not like electricity where all of a sudden they can show you an $800 bill. The sewer amount is the sewer amount is the sewer amount. It doesn't do this. Yes. It's what, $64, something like that? Raise the rent and just put it in your name and you never hear from us. Unless you don't pay it.
How do you notify the homeowner if the tenants aren't paying?
We tag it and we send a notice of work that goes options.
56, yeah.
And if they don't do anything, there's a $2,800 fine for not doing anything.
Like a courtesy to the owner, like say that 3 months delay, or they haven't paid in 3 months, is there something that goes straight to the owner and says, hey, there's been nothing on here, or do you send it straight to the tenant? So whoever's in the name is what it is.
We don't deal with the tenant bill. That's your tenant.
Yeah.
It's our sewer
So
account.
who's in the name?
It's in the tenant's name.
Okay.
But there's a lot of letters that go out to you before. We're the last resort. If you see us, they have done, finance has done everything they can do to get your attention. And then they turn it over to us. And now we go out and tell you, get out, because I'm capping your sewer. It really is no different than Edison putting on. It's the same concept. It just it's just a harsher look because of what it entails to do. I wish we could just cap it. You just can't just like flip a switch. Your toilet is still going to flush. And the only way to do that is to cap it. And you will actually still flush this back up into your house. You'll get one flush probably before that happens, but after that, it's all downhill. Any other questions?
About foaming fences, I was curious, because I have a friend that has a neighbor that has a back fence and he's leaning over, what determines like, hey, this is not structurally sound? Because the neighbor's like, it's still up, and he's like, it's leaning. And so, I mean, it's like you said, it's right here.
Fun fence fact, you don't even have to have a fence
Interesting.
unless there's a swimming.
Okay, so he does have a swimming pool that is not him, but his neighbor does. Okay.
And they don't have to do anything. I don't care.
Yeah.
That's true fence. You really should report that because it's a good.
Okay, I'll let her know. Yeah.
What about the fence that needs to be fixed and then the city owns the other part, but there's not gonna be any voting because the road is so close? But does the city take half and the owner takes half? Responsibility?
Say that again.
Okay, so if a fence in the backyard, it's about to fall, but the city owns part of the back because it's a busy road.
Mhm.
But there's not going to be any buildings or anything. Who's responsible for that? I mean, the homeowner is, but doesn't the city share responsibility to things?
There doesn't have to be a fence. Like you guys can all go home today if you don't have a pool and take every inch of your fence down and the city doesn't care. Okay. Now, if you're in an L&L, if that's an L&L district, that's a whole different thing.
What's in that now?
Landscaping and lighting district. So a lot of subdivisions, and that's every new subdivision from the 90s on is now. So if you were to look at your property taxes bill, you'll see an L&L fee on there. So that means everybody in that subdivision pays into a fund. And when things like fences need to be repaired or landscaping needs to be mowed, you see the contractors out mowing around these subdivisions, those are paid for by the people that live in there. Those aren't city. The city, I would say the city just kind of launders the money. We bring it in and we hold it and then we pay these contractors out, but they're not city contractors. It's not even city money. It's your money. Okay, so if you look on your property bill, you can call our office. And you can call me after, you can call me later today and I can pull up what you're talking about and I can tell you. Because if it's a city's responsibility, we will fix it.
Have a chance.
Yes.
2 foot high yard. 2 foot high yards, is that anything that's policed or is that just driven on complaint?
So if it's a vacant lot, it is policed. And it's the fire department. There's a fire marshal, and he has inspectors, and that's what they do. If it's somebody's yard, you have to call it in. Now, we're not the pretty police, so what you have to remember is, it could be dead, and if they cut it down 2 inches and leave it dead, it's in compliance. We can't make them keep it green, we can't do those things. We just have to make the fire hazard. So, dead trees are a fire hazard, so you can call those the same thing the fire department takes.
I had a neighbor down the street growing a garden in the front yard, that's okay. Corn grow and everything.
Right.
Hey, yeah. Corn, something growing.
Yes, you're right. He had a pumpkin patch. Sounds like fun.
I'll take the garden. I'll take the garden.
It is hard to find that happy medium. If you want to read the municipal code, you really are trying to look at what your average person finds acceptable. Some people are, had a guy, he lived on Iris.
Yeah.
He spent all day telling on his neighbors. And I finally drove out there and I'm not kidding you. When I pulled up, he was backing me the leaves. So that's the problem. His neighbors were fine, but he was so far up here that,
OCD to the max.
yes. I remember going back to my office, I'm like, he's backing, he was out there and he was backing me off the bushes that went around his house. You could just sport those off with ponies. So that's a good example of an extremist. Yes, that is so far up here that no matter what I do, it's not going to be enough. It's in fact uses bushes. I've not looked that.
So they used to chase flies around his yard with a fly swatter.
What?
And we have this, we actually, and I'll tell you this, and I hate to advertise it, but you should know it. We have a public nuisance code that says if you're such a problem to your community, you're the problem. Okay. So even if your intent is, if you continually call for nonsense, especially if you're calling the police, you know, we're a bigger city and we're starting to have bigger city problems. I know you guys can see that here, work here. And I was looking 1970, like, okay, well, it's not 1970. We have almost 200,000 people, not 50,000 people. Times change. So if you're the kind of person that calls the police for everything,
You're the nuisance.
you're the nuisance.
You're the problem.
You're the problem. And
See,
that-
Larry's good. He has
I don't call anybody, I do door knocking.
So what happens is you get the ticket. Because now you're wasting everybody's time. Now, if you're calling in something legit, that's different. That's different. We want you to call the police when you need the police. But if you're calling the police because the kid next door, you don't like the way his friends look, one of them had his hat on sideways, and he had his pants saggy, or you could hear his music and you didn't like the music, and you're calling the police for those things, you're the problem. So I always say, it's all fun and games until you get a ticket, and all of a sudden you're like, eh.
What is that? That's a nuisance.
It is, it's
Yeah.
a hell of a nuisance, yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
What about people that sell food in the back in their backyard?
Oh, no,
Know what?
no, you cannot do that.
Okay.
No.
Asking for my friend because he's got a neighbor.
So, how many of you know taco trucks? I love taco trucks.
I
Oh, I came to work for code enforcement. I know too much. I've seen too much, yeah.
Cottage license or something.
Yes.
Like
You have to have help on trucks. So the people that just like pop up in the middle of a big field with a big table and chairs and make, you know, the El Pastor, don't need it.
You gonna get sick?
Buyer beware.
Yes.
So what, so for a legit taco truck, what does it need to have displayed for you to want to eat there, or are you?
They have to have, a business license.
Okay.
They have to have a health permit.
Okay.
And they have to have a vendor permit.
Displayed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And if they didn't show you those things, then don't eat there. Cause I'm telling you, I have watched I'll tell you the worst. And we get cussed out every year is the Christmas parade. The people sell the hot dogs, yes, and they smell so good. Don't
They're actually really good.
You can see them pulling the hot dogs out of the trunk of their car with no ice and all sweaty. Yeah, don't eat it.
That's where it's gonna hurt.
But man, it's so good. It's so good.
What is the process for someone to get their like how long is this?
It takes like a day. I don't understand. It's easy. And it costs less than $100.
Yeah, it's not that expensive.
It's nothing. It's nothing. So be very aware of somebody that won't go get what really is. You could sell a few hot dogs and take care of it. I'll give you a good example that, and you'll see not many of them, but there's some around town, the guys on the bicycle with the bits. One of them.
The corn on the cob and the tumo.
Now the corn on the cob's a little different.
It's not me.
If you see them with like a thing of mayonnaise or cream
Oh, they
and
always
ice,
have it.
they don't have it.
But in the corner.
I like extra mayo. Yes.
Because you can't keep that mayonnaise at the right temperature
Yeah.
with ice.
Uh,
The health department never would have.
No match, no. So amazing.
So, and let me, and I'll get off my soapbox with this. The fruit vendors are a good example in the corners. So you see them out there selling the fruit. And you'll notice there's no cars around them.
Yeah.
Okay. So really what you're dealing with is human trafficking. You see that.
Yeah.
And we get people cut, they're just trying to support their pet, they're not. Anytime you see a vendor out like that and they have no way to leave, it's because they can't leave. The bigger thing you need to remember is they're out there all day. We watch them behind a bush and then they come out and top their pineapple. Yeah.
That's interesting. I see that. I never put that.
But people don't think that way. They just thought, but I really, that's why I like to do these presentations to educate the public, because it really is not good. And you're really not helping some poor guy out trying to help his family. That's not what you're supporting. Because
Would you report that then to the police? I mean, how do you mean? 'Cause I do see there's a gentleman that's always there, and you're right, he can't go anywhere. I know exactly what corner he's at. He's at a corner of West and Window.
yes, so we deal with him all the time.
Okay.
They do, but you'll notice it's not going to always be the same person because we get rid of one and they bring another.
Yeah.
But the same thing with the taco vendors. You see these taco vendors, the same thing, they're out there cooking and there's no way. It's because they got dropped off there and they're not free to leave. Yes, I'm like this leave.
Yeah.
And we carry little cards about this big that give them all the numbers to reach out for help. And we can slip it to them. Yes. Because it's not, so keep that in mind when you see us out there, it looks like we're just doing terrible things, we're really doing good things. But to the public, it probably looks terrible.
What about people selling honey on the corners?
The same thing, they just needs to get your permit. We actually, Governor Newsom signed a bill, it's probably been 5-6 years ago. We have to allow vendors to sell on the street. But you have to have your permit. Honey, that's an easy one to get, a honey permit. Because it's already prepared, you're not cooking anything, you don't have to keep it at a certain temperature, it's easy. It really is easy. And we have pamphlets in English and Spanish, and we give those out and that's why the guys on the bicycles are all permitted, because we get all their stuff, easy.
So honey on the street, but you can't sell in the massage parlor.
Don't
worry about I'm worried about you. Heart in the back.
You wanna know something, ask Larry, okay?
Tell the woman that does massage, this, can you pay attention or the ants?
Oh, right.
Uh-huh.
What about during Christmas, there's always a tamale lady.
Oh, on parking lots.
Who's been buying tamales from the parking lot of Walmart? Do I need to show you the people's houses and how they?
Yeah.
I don't even need a potluck, fun fact. I don't need, I don't eat until I've seen inside your house.
But isn't there a permit that you can do if you are selling from your house?
Yeah,
It's a cottage,
it's a cottage food, yep, cottage food law. And that's done through the Tulare County Health Department, yes. Yeah, it's a cottage food permit. It really is easy. So if you're dealing with somebody that won't go through all that process, that tells you that they're.
Hiding something, scared of something.
They're nefarious, yes, they're doing something that's shady, because otherwise you would just go do it. A business tax is $56, a health.
Maybe they're afraid to get it.
Cheap.
So.
All right, any other questions? See, code enforcement is fun.
It was very educational.
Yeah, she's
Some business cards for
Right
us.
now, I'm going to my card and then I'm going to leave the code enforcement complaint line. And these are the old ones. I need to use these up and they have an old logo. It's out. You know what it's like.
I need your part.
Thank you.
I need.
So give Tracy Roberts a round of applause, everybody. Sam Shaka will put me in contact with Tracy.
Appreciate you guys.
Any questions before Tracy leaves?
Thank you, Tracy.
Except Larry Drexler on Irish Street.
Yeah, right.
Real quick, let me go back to this one. We have a training tomorrow with Bill Hill on Zoom. And he's going on this, sent out the email, so it's counter offers in the current market. How to do counters back, the best wording, best language, how to get your offer accepted. That'll be a great training. He's also going to show you on the contract how to throw it out in a much better way. And we're going to pass all of this. We'll save that for next week. Let's go through all of this. And let's go to the important things, which is right here. Let's go to coming soons. Anybody who is coming soon? Mike.
And a cute little house in Farmers, the 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,100 square feet. Partially painted, new flooring, new fixtures, the bathrooms are updated. And it's on a half-acre, nicely landscaped. It'll be listed about $315.
Sounds like a great price.
What the price was?
Sold to.
$315.
Yeah, very good.
It's got a little apartment.
Terrible. Anybody else is coming soon? Yes, Mike. Oh, this is a special one. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
first here, since 2013. So I'm putting my house on the market tomorrow. 116 South Exeter Court, Hidden Oaks Estates, the original cul-de-sac, reportedly the model home for that development back in the day in 1992. And it's a modern Victorian 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,300 square feet. Actually 2.5 bath, 2,300 square feet with a unpermitted bonus room in the garage, but it wouldn't take much to pull an ADU permit, finish it off. 4-acre lot, looks like a park, but a lot of extra landscaping in the back. It's beautiful. A pool that you wouldn't want to spend money rebuilding today. It's huge. I mean, you'd be over 6 figures to rebuild this pool today. Great shape, has colored lights, LED light system at night if you want a party pool. No grotto though, no grotto, never put one in, but has a water feature. The house, I've gone through it up and down, everything's redone on it from the inside to out. Like there isn't one thing in there that's original pretty much, and has a 50-year presidential comp roof. And it has newer AC, both units upstairs, downstairs, has a newer pool pump, upgraded panel box, newer forced air heating, newer heat exchanger upstairs. And it also has Tesla solar, which the last 2 years I've had little to no true up, so it's covered my usage the last couple of years. And I'll have that all uploaded with the agreement and the Edison bills. And I think it's about it. The price is $649,950.
Nice. Are you offering a full commission?
Well, compensation, because I can share with you guys 3%, yes.
So bring in some good, strong offers of qualified people who are listening to my company. So there you go. All right, anybody else on coming soons and have and wants? We do have a tour today. We're gonna go to the new subdivision. Well, we've been to the subdivision before by DR Horton. So we're gonna head out. Let me get the name. Sorry, yeah, because I didn't put it on the slide, so. No, Shepherd Ranch. Shepherd Ranch.
Oh, that's.
So we're going to Shepherd Ranch.
Where, by sign?
Yes, which is on Shirt. So up, yeah, but right next, it's on Shirt.
Oh, which
Shirt, just south of Hershey.
5-star petition?
No.
8-star petition?
DR Horton.
Oh, okay.
DR Horton. So let's go there. We're setting up the Wood Lake one, but we want to do our thing with the feed us for going over the Wood Lake. Feed us, the children will have splash first. Well, yes.
Make sure it's permitted.
So Shepherd, it is. Shepherd Ranch, let's head on out in about 10 minutes. Thank you, everybody.